Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's a Wednesday morning. We're live, large and in charge right here on SABC3. As you have surmised from our previous chat just before the ad break, we're delving into very serious
first of all, we all pay our tax.
Yes.
Okay.
Just so you know, we really do.
Because it's our responsibility as responsible citizens.
Absolutely. And of course, it is time for our Wednesday feature where we focus on the more unconventional side of the law called So Now What? And we're joined once again by our expert lawyer and director at Legalese.co, Eitan Stern. And today we're focusing on what your legal rights, recourses and responsibilities are when it comes to filing your income tax returns during the current tax season. And any other tax season past, because you are also eligible to file those tax returns.
And being a responsible citizen, you do.
In fact, for the past 3 years.
SARS never forgets.
And they never sleep on it. 3 years, they can go back into your life. And
they can delve as they are. I mean, this is understandably an emotional thing because we all kind of, it's a grudge. Kind of, you know, it's a necessary evil, I'm going to say it. We all kind of, at some point in our lives, have gone, but why? Why must I give so much of my hard-earned money away?
Yes.
But we want to be responsible citizens. But ultimately, why do we have to pay tax, buddy? Come on, just lay it down. Why?
Why? A great question. Nothing to be ashamed of that question. Why do we pay tax? Well, tax, essentially, we all live in this country and, you know, we pay for our own lifestyle, but the roads are cleaned, the garbage is collected, the electricity stays on a lot of the time, you know, and the country kind of is managed, and the people that pay for the country to be managed are us as the citizens. So we essentially, because we get to live in this country and take advantage of a functioning country, we have to pay our share of that, and we do that through paying taxes. And that is the system in which has let countries and governments run for as far back as anyone can remember.
It's not a choice.
It's not, yeah, it's definitely, it's not a choice. And a lot of people might have objections to paying tax or say we don't get proper service delivery, etc. But the reality is it's still not a choice, and not paying it would just lead to chaos because there would just be no money for the government to be able to.
Maybe if they gave it a different name and they didn't call it tax, I don't know, it would be
investment.
Jolly payments.
Jolly payments. And now everyone's just turned their TVs off and walked out the room, man. Come on.
But when you think about it, it kind of, you know, in the broad base makes sense because you are utilizing the resources of the country, the land, whatever it is, to make your income. So you need to plow back so that that system can continue to give you life, obviously in a perfectly working system. Let's talk about the limit. Because a lot of people are, when it comes to filing their tax returns, are confused about what the new limit is because every year it's revised. The tax threshold, as it's called, right?
Okay, so the one change in the law that there has been is the threshold for filing a return has been moved up to 500,000 Rand a year. Now, that doesn't mean if you earn less than 500,000 Rand a year that you don't need to pay tax. If you earn over roughly 78,000 Rand a year, and you're under the age of 65, then you have to pay tax. Okay. But there's this new limit of 500,000 Rand a year that if you earn under 500,000 Rand a year, you've earned it from one particular employer. So if you've changed jobs or got more than one income stream, it doesn't count. And you've got no deductions. So you're not deducting any medical bills or car allowances or anything. If you meet those three factors, then you don't have to file your return. You still have to pay tax, but you don't have to file your return at the end of the year. SARS gives you an exemption for that. But if you're not filing it, you're not going to be able to claim any refunds or anything like that.
Which means that you would have probably had deductions then to claim, which now means that you now need to file.
Exactly.
Basically. All right, so there's a lot that we need to understand. Of course, this is tax season, not just spring season.
We're not saying this to terrify you.
No,
we want to prompt you, inspire you to get those jolly payments in. No, but you might be able to put yourself in line to actually get something back from SARS, and that's what we're going to delve a little deeper into with our next So Now What?
Because in reality, we really do love paying our taxes, our jolly payments.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
So, I'm just listening to you on your Instagram saying I'm an accountant.
how good I am at doing my taxes, and to be honest, I leave that to the professionals.
Yeah, you
there's
don't
a lot
have
of filing. There's systems
to do your
to
own
be followed.
return, but it is the e-filing system isn't actually that difficult if you take the time. Some people aren't inclined to do that, so you hire amazing people like Eitan Stern to do it for you. We're talking tax. Yes, we've discussed the lighter side of jolly payments, and we know it's a necessary function of society. But we obviously hear about the much publicized tax evasion stories. That's where it becomes really interesting. How hectic can the repercussions for not paying your taxes be?
Sure. So everyone has to pay their tax. Now, you've got two types of things. You've got tax avoidance, which is fine, and tax evasion, which isn't fine. So tax avoidance is structuring your finances and your payments in such a way as to legally avoid having to pay tax. Tax evasion means hiding your income, putting transactions through incorrectly and actually evading it. Now, tax evasion is illegal, and the penalties can be quite serious. You can pay financial penalties if you do it incorrectly. You can have your assets seized or forfeited, and it's also a criminal offense. So you could even see jail time if you evade tax really badly.
Yeah. How do these companies end up evading tax? I mean, they're
not to plant any seeds.
Yeah. No, but just for us to understand how it happens, how a massive company could hide like a million rands worth of tax.
So, I mean, look, we're in the business of giving legal tax advice, so I don't think I'm going to go too much into the detail of how to evade tax. But, but essentially, and really, I mean, there's a plethora of ways that people do it. And essentially, it's about trying to hide your income that you're earning, or trying to identify your income as something else. So there's really intricate ways that people do it. Some are like quite clever, some are really, really just blatant and blunt, and there's a lot of ways. But the point is to say, you're meant to declare what you earn, and you're meant to pay a portion of that to SARS.
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to encourage small business in the country as well. We want entrepreneurs to be out there, to be innovative and to find a way to grow the economy. So if you are in a small business position and you might think that, okay, maybe I didn't do something right, I didn't file correctly, and you think that there might be some trouble, what's the best course of action to take right now?
Okay, so if you're a small business owner or a freelancer or anyone that needs good tax advice, it's really important to get that good tax advice. So you can go to, an accountant, you can come see us at Legalese, and the idea is to structure your tax in such a way to make it tax efficient. Now, the country actually tries to encourage entrepreneurship, so there are certain tax statuses you can get, like small business corporation tax, where you get advantages and you pay less tax because you're an entrepreneur, you're giving employment and you're trying to grow a business. So it's really important, if you are a small business, to get good tax advice to make sure that your tax is efficient, so that you can use your profits in order to create more employment and grow your business, and not just give it over to SARS.
I mean, we're not paying for getting free advice here, but with small businesses, I've heard that a small business in its first year of operation doesn't need to pay tax. Is that true?
No, that's not necessarily true, but often small businesses might fall under a certain threshold. So they might not be earning enough, or they might not be generating any profits, which is quite common in a business's first year. So for businesses, they're only ever paying tax on the profits it makes. So if you're not generating profit, then you're not paying tax. Where you're an employee, that's different. You're going to pay tax on your salary. But this is exactly the sort of thing that if you're a small business, go to an accountant, go to a tax lawyer, and get some good advice around how to structure your tax. If you're a South African that's living abroad, maybe working on ships or as an aid worker, and suddenly you've got different countries, tax jurisdictions, you can get good tax advice. That's a lot of the work that we do at Legalese. You can get tax advice on how to structure your taxes to make sure it's tax efficient.
You've got to get a guy. You've got to get a guy, man.
You need a guy in your corner, man. And of course, I mean, that's just the one part of it, income tax that we were just discussing. And of course, there's value-added tax that comes on top of that. There's provisional tax, there's companies tax, small business tax. So that's why you need somebody in your corner. So check out Eitan and his team, legalese.co.za, and of course on social media, Lawyers of Legalese, if you'd like more advice on how to proceed in this very joyful tax season.